we are again. You know, it's a sad and terrifying thing to feel as though you've run out of things to say at the age of 21. It's frustrating. In times like this, sometimes you just want to go to a forest and walk about, look up at the trees. It certainly helps me soak in the sun, you know. Sometimes I wish I could just live in the wilderness, get away from it all, but I have to make these vlogs. It's important. It's so important that I do this. Being creative is hard. It's probably the hardest thing imaginable.
Stop that!
Who are you?
Don't you recognize me?
Anime Karl Lagerfeld? What?
No, you fitty. I am you, and this is the future.
Alright, we're gonna stop it right there. Basically, I had this whole idea of me talking to my future self and it was gonna be great. But guess what? Me and Miles, we went to the woods and we filmed it and it didn't work. It was stupid, I looked like Andy Warhol. It wasn't good. But hey, this whole series is about experimenting and stuff. So, you know, welcome back. Here's the cat.
Hello.
Coming up on this instalment, the Cannes Film Festival. Long-term film industry supporters HP brought this lovely boy out to Cannes to experience the festival, and what an experience it was, and now I'm going to show you my experience. Also, I have my loved ones do all the talking because I'm lazy. And finally, we go through my top 10 quiche recipes. Don't wait up, don't miss out, you're very lucky, you've got a lot to look forward to. We're back again, it's episode 5, and I'm feeling kind of better, so let's get into it. The main theme of this installment is the future. What do we think about it? How do we respond to it? More importantly, how do I respond to it? Because this is all about me. See, now she wants to be in it. Say welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Muppet Show.
Kermit the Frog.
Have you been listening? I'm embarrassed. Alright, I won't be long. Right. She's rushing me. I'm a very nostalgic person. You may or may not have noticed, but the idea of looking back and reflecting and the past is something that has been very prevalent in like all my stuff. So I'm clearly not very good at letting go. And I thought, what with me turning 21 recently, this would be a good opportunity to potentially let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Only then will you become what you were truly meant to become. I think that's the line. And so, with the help of my nearest and dearest, as well as me, my usual sat in a place talking, pondering about usually nothing, we're gonna unpack the future and see if I can just grow up. Basically, let's do this.
You'll be famous one day. Picture you in the future being famous.
Oh, we'll see.
Yes. Make your own TV show.
About what?
About what you're good at, because you're a very smart guy.
And what am I good at?
Everything, I don't know. Just everything, really. You're...
Yeah, I used to chew sponges because I liked the taste.
I used to smell them because I'd like the smell. I used to in PE, we'd have a little sponge balls and I'd like nick one out of the box and I'd sit there like that against my face going,
Miles. Seen that? Dear Miles, I'm writing you this letter. It's a sock. It's for the wind.
Will I know the answers?
Yeah, they're not. It's not, it's not a quiz. It's not a. No, it's not. I feel like I rely a lot on looking back and sort of dwelling on the past because, to me, the future is a terrifying, abstract concept that I would rather not face, but I think I should.
Yeah, the future is scary because I think as people we hold on to the idea of control a lot.
You don't plan the past, you plan the future.
Right.
And it's, in a way, it's a control thing.
The future that's almost like right in front of you, like you said, with deadlines and stuff, is very dictated by the will and the whims of other people.
Yeah.
And do you feel like with
And
each
software and AI voices,
yeah,
when they tell me to get stuff done, they'll go, your alarm's going off, and you'll be like, all right, because I gotta go do something else.
what do you see? What's going to happen to the world in the future? Do you think the world's going to be a better place? Do you think it's going to get better, or do you think is everything going to be all horrible?
Maybe a better place. I'm not sure. I'm hoping they'll improve things. I'm not sure.
Drones, the future.
I love drones.
Pay for things with your credit card, the future. But like
Pay for things with your credit card? Is that the future? Is it?
Just tap it on the.
Yeah, sure. No, but
Contactless.
you were like, pay for things with your credit card.
You don't need to.
Yeah,
pay.
it's 1993.
You used to have to take an impression of those.
What?
You know,
Wait,
that
are you
chip
telling
and
me?
pin
Are you telling me if I go somewhere and if I go to someone's house and they leave their card out, if I bring some soap, I can do an imprint and then I can I can contactless the soap.
Yes.
Flying
Yes?
cars.
There might be flying cars here.
Really?
What I want to ask you about is you're excuse me.
Well, we got more selfish, I would say. The fact that one of the biggest technological advances of the last 50 years is a front-facing camera, so we can take pictures of ourselves. Yet, like you say, in the 60s and 70s, we wanted to go to space and we wanted to potentially meet alien species. There was like a genuine sense of going, we want to go to space because what's out there?
It doesn't seem like people are optimistic about the future. It feels like any version created of the future is dystopian. Every single one.
That is true.
Would it just be boring if it was like, look how lovely the future is?
I don't think. I mean, we used to have. It's interesting because you talk about I don't know, the Jetsons, for example, used to be really positive. Like, look at all the new tech. We've got hover cars and crazy giant flying shopping malls in space. Yeah. Then WALL-E came along.
It was WALL-E.
WALL-E did it.
It was WALL-E, man. Literally up until 2007 or 2008 when WALL-E came out, we were so optimistic about the future. Anything was possible. Then WALL-E showed us what was possible and we didn't like it and it was scary and it was horrible and we've all not got bones anymore.
There ain't no tax in space. There ain't no bills in space.
There's nothing.
There ain't nothing in space. Well, no, but there is. There's everything potentially.
There's no restrictions. There's no.
Yeah. Imagine being chased by another ship because you didn't pay a bill.
Yeah. You can't put a flag in the ground if there is no ground.
Exactly.
It's just gonna float.
Astronauts talk about. I always get jealous. I can't remember what it's called now. There is a term for it. The first astronauts they were on the moon and they looked at Earth. And they got overwhelmed by the emotion that everything they ever knew was just in this big ball in front of them, and everything outside of it had nothing to do with it. My worst fear is that they cure death, and we're too old to get it. Do you know what I mean? Because if they figure that out, you'd be like, no. But at the same time, they'd be like, could you want a robot arm or something? I'd be like, yeah, do that. You're the last person to ever have a last meal. How does that feel?
Rubbish.
So bad. Are you sweating? No, I'm crying.
My fear of the future used to be very binary. It used to be I'm scared I'm gonna die, but now it's I'm scared that I'm gonna fail, or I'm scared that the life I've imagined for myself isn't gonna come to fruition, or I'm scared that relationships around me are gonna change and I'm not sure I'm gonna adapt to it.
My destiny hasn't turned out the way I hoped or planned, but then I quite like the challenge of finding another destiny.
Sure. That's true.
But maybe what you express, I fear, is this sort of millennial thing where the future, is scary for your generation.
Yeah.
Whereas my generation, we got a much better future than we dreamt of.
Sav, do you have anything to say? Do you want to
about the future?
dip in?
Hope I don't die soon.
Hope I don't die soon.
Gotta go get it. I gotta.
What is in my eye?
Hello.
So I've been spending the last few days in France because someone thought it would be a good idea to invite Hey Arnold's grandpa to the Cannes Film Festival. I do look a bit like Hey Arnold's grandpa. I love movies, I love making them, so when this opportunity presented itself to me, I couldn't say no. You know, I mean, it's Cannes. Can you dig it? Last time we spoke, it was mainly about how lost and lonely and empty I'd been feeling, so, you know, the usual. But one of the reasons I neglected to share as to why I'd been feeling that way was that I don't think I've ever really felt like I belong anywhere. Like, I have friends, I have people I'm incredibly close to, people I feel comfortable and at ease with, but there's no community, no tribe where I feel properly in my element. As someone who makes short films, who wears his identity as a filmmaker very much on his sleeve, but who also shares those films predominantly on the internet, my toes are kind of dipping into two worlds, the traditional filmy film world and this online thing. And because I'm this weird hybrid creature, I kind of feel like I'm spread a bit thin, and I struggle to exist properly in either of these communities. So therefore I'm just kind of just floating. And the Cannes Film Festival, weirdly, I found to be a bit of a microcosm of this internal conflict that I've been experiencing. You know, it's in its 71st year, it's an old festival that tries to uphold various traditions, but at the same time, it's 2018 and lots of new technology is being utilized to modernize the event, you know, social media, sprockets, that sort of thing. And lots of steps are being taken to acknowledge and address various horrible, troubling things that have existed for far too long in this industry. So, to me, from my perspective, this festival has been able to operate as both a staple of the old school traditional film world while also remaining current. So, my lesson is you can be two things. Maybe more, if you're lucky. And I always feel a bit uncomfortable at these kinds of events. Like I was lucky enough to walk the red carpet while I was here, and it was lots of fun, but I don't know, the glitz, the glamour, it gets to a point where you look around and you're just like, well, hang on, what exactly are we celebrating here? I feel out of place practically anywhere, but especially at lavish, operatic, ceremonial events, because I just can't help but think like, well, I don't deserve to be here. But that's just the thing. So the film we saw was this superb South Korean film called The Spy Gone North, directed by Yoon Jong-bin, and it was about a South Korean spy tasked to infiltrate North Korea. It tackles some huge, weighty, deeply political subject matter in a way that was incredibly intimate and human and raw, filled with pathos, and above all else, ultimately, it's just an incredibly brave film to make. And when it finished, this may be one of those Cannes traditions I mentioned earlier, but we, the audience, applauded for literally 10 minutes. Like, my hands were getting tired, but it was incredible. And I was sat quite near the director, the cast, and a lot of the team who created the film, and they all stood up, and it was just really powerful to soak in that moment in their company. And I've not been asked to talk about this film. It was really cool. It was really cool. Making films is hard. It really is. And this is no big blockbuster. I know for a fact that the people who made this film, it probably took a lot out of them. They really put themselves out there, and it paid off. And to witness potentially years of some of these people's lives be celebrated and commended in that moment, it was good stuff. And honestly, if you've put the work in, if you've taken that chance, you've taken those risks, you deserve all the glamour, all the glitz, all the trimmings, all the opulence. You deserve it all. You know, it's a party. Celebrate. You've done a good thing. You never want to be enveloped by the lavish side of this world. You know, that shouldn't be something you strive for when entering into any creative industry. You know, it's an added bonus, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I've always felt weird walking red carpets and stuff because I'm just a guy. Thus far, I haven't been involved in any of these projects that would warrant a big glitzy, glamorous event like that. But that moment of pure excitement, of pure celebration of a piece of work that people love, that was created by people who care and care about each other, that's what it's all about. You know, whether you're wearing a tuxedo or a bolognese stained t-shirt, that feeling of it all being worth it, that's what you should strive for. Yes, sir. It doesn't really matter what community or tribe you align with, you know, it's all about people, it's all about individuals and experiences, and there was real palpable love through this shared experience via those people who made that good film that I watched, and that was nice. So yeah, I need to pack, but that was a really striking experience, and that moment was I don't know, it was really powerful. So thank you to HP for bringing me to the Cannes Film Festival. It was nuts, and I really appreciate it. Okay, good. Packing time.
Okay, so it's interesting because for the most part, yeah, I do thoroughly enjoy just like taking comfort in the past. I mean, even this, I've got my memory machine with me.
His memory machine
is an old camera from my childhood, as you know, which I'm still carrying around because it makes me feel comfortable, and it's a consistent thing. And there's control in that.
And it's the thing we spoke about, like when you look through that eyepiece, you're looking through the exact same, you're seeing the world exactly through the eyes of you when you're a child. And
it's almost as old as me. It's nearly 20 years old.
What does that mean?
Nostalgic, you think about the past a lot, you feel a lot of like warm feelings for the past, you look back. Do you prefer to look back or look forward?
A bit of both, really. I regret some things in my life, I do. Remember me and you were little? We used to play together, we used to run around. Oh yeah, we did fight, yeah.
Who pushed you down the stairs? Did I push you or did you push me?
No, I pushed you down the stairs,
you-
yes.
you did.
You didn't push me, no.
I think one of the reasons the past is such a nice sort of place to live is because there's security in knowing what happened, even if it was bad.
Yeah.
Even if it was bad.
But yeah, I mean, I tend to forget all the bad stuff. So like nostalgia for me started happening with like video games and stuff, and I would think about how great those games are or those films or whatever. But with games, like I'd never remember the bit where it was really hard. You know,
Interesting.
I don't remember being stuck, even though I know for a fact I would have been.
But I think it just stops you getting old, though. I mean, when I've come across people who really dwell on all the stories from the past, and some of them are interesting and some of them great, but suddenly you sort of think most of your day seems to be dominated by the past, like you haven't got a future. Whereas now, when you're 60, you could have a hell of a lot of future in terms of sort of active life. And I want to, if I'm here on the earth, I like to make it really as worthwhile as I can. But some people, it's that old cliche about you think they live their life like it's a dress rehearsal. This is the final show, so we have to make everything really vibrant and exciting.
What are you excited about for the future?
Actually being able to...
Well, leaving uni is clearly...
Uni is great. I'm just looking forward to getting out and owning my creativity again, and not being given sort of these deadlines, to be able to just sit back, really put time into something, and to just nurture it for the time it needs to become something whole, as opposed to all these sketchy ideas.
And that's a great, because what you're coming out of uni, you're coming out of like a very structured, like you said, these deadlines and stuff, and to a degree, like I said, there is security in that. And what I admire is that the thing you're looking forward to in the future is something that perhaps is less finite and is a lot more malleable. Yeah. And that's what excites you about it. The unknown is what is exciting you about.
Definitely.
That's good.
All you can do is think of hope, really, and hope that the future will be good. Or that's all you can do, really, is think positively.
Is that what do you think positively?
Yeah. I try to. I mean, I don't say it's really easy to, but I do try to think positively.
Do you feel like you've always thought this way, or did you used to think more negatively about the future?
I always used to think negatively, but I feel more brave and powerful.
That's good. That's good.
People's eyes glaze over if you talk too much about, I remember my grandmother said this. I just, well, that was great. Put it in a book. Put it in a book. Do you know what?
Oh, maybe a donut. Is that alright? Just a sugar ring. Yes, please.
I didn't know you liked donuts again, no?
I do. There's a place that does them.
Oh, I know the one you go to.
Yeah,
then
it's very nice.
It's just, yeah.
Alright, we're nearly done filming.
But I find, when you sort of you measure your life against other people's. So like you think but at the end, I don't know. By the time you're 40, what have you achieved? But even if you do something really, really great, there'll probably be some other 40-year-old who does it probably better than you. Like I might want to do Star Wars, but I end up with the Gundam Wing movie or something. Like something I don't care about. Like I think good things or nice things happen to me in unpredictable ways, and I feel like that happens more often than bad.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
very
I
good.
don't fret about what's going to happen in the future because my luck seems to be okay. Who
Alright.
knows?
Me.
Like who knows what's going to happen?
Dean does.
Might be bad. It's probably more likely to be bad.
But we don't know. We can live in blissful ignorance, assuming that things will be fine. And then when they're not, too bad. Dean,
Yes,
I think your future's bright.
it's not. I won't let it.
You want it to be dark?
I want it to be dark. I want it to be grim.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is this your origin story? Am I living in your origin story right
Mhm.
now? Is something
Yeah.
going to befall you that will make you go on a path
Yeah,
of evil?
we're gonna get biblical in a few weeks.
Let's get biblical. So, what have we learned? Nothing, really. Go away. Dean, tell us about your frog. Dean's getting a frog.
Yeah.
So the name? This will just be like a.
I'm getting a frog in the future.
What would your last meal be?
What was my last meal?
If you could choose.
Oh wow! All right.
I'm basically just asking you what your favourite food is.
Spaghetti bolognese. That'd be your last meal. A spaghetti bolognese. You microwave that. And I have a bread cake. You'd be like, oh, you little freak.
You deserve to die.
You deserve it. Bye.
Favourite colour?
Hello, my favourite colour is gravel.
Stop.